So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now this video is once again going to be talking about my Grade 1 moose grind here on Medved Tiger. Now to start off with, we're going to have a little bit of a compilation going in the background while I talk about some of the things that have been happening on my moose grind. Now unfortunately the animals that we're going to be seeing in this little bit of a compilation are all trolls that I've gotten recently from this Grade 1 moose grind. Unfortunately I have had a good number of troll moose, but I'm always happy to see a max level whether it makes diamond or not. It's always encouraging to me to see that level 5 pop up because hey, at the end of the day that is a max level, so it is by definition a big moose, and that to me is always a really nice encouraging thing to see when you're on one of these Grade 1 grinds. Now in terms of what else has been going on my Grade 1 grind, I do have some diamonds to share as well as a nice encounter with a rare and also a surprise diamond that I ended up getting earlier today that was just completely random and I really wasn't expecting to get it. And honestly, there's been a few interesting things going on with the moose themselves on this grind. Now, basically out of desperation, I decided to shoot a few cow moose in a few different locations, as I do have a large number of cow-only zones across the map. And I figured, hey, every other Grade 1 grind I've done, I have shot some females. Whether it's black bear, I shot, everything. Whitetail, I shot everything. Red deer, I shot mostly males, but, females as well when I felt things were getting a little bit stale. I'd shoot some females as well just to see if it would do anything. And I have had some really interesting things happen on my map since doing that with the cow moose. I have had herds pop up in new locations, and also bulls, solo bulls, pop up in some of those zones. Things have definitely changed. I also noticed that I have found a few more zones for bulls in some rather obscure locations, including in one very small spot of ice up in the north of the map, but it's on the sort of western side. It's a very interesting spot where I didn't think any moose would be, and there was actually a max weight estimate bull tucked away in there. So that was really interesting to find out as well. And it has been interesting as well to notice that sometimes I have been having bulls respawn into zones that were previously cow only. So I have been ignoring some zones just purely because I knew that there was only females there, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go through and check these zones again when I was shooting some of the females, and ended up finding again a couple of bull moose had respawned into those locations. So that means now that I know that they are doing that I can increase the numbers that I'm getting per run again by checking those spots. And that does mean that my runs take a little bit longer because I am having to check some spots that I wasn't checking before because I knew that they were cow only, and now, not being sure if bulls might respawn in there, I am having to check those zones, so naturally the runs take a little bit longer, but it does mean that I'm getting those bulls as well, so I'm getting those extra respawns. And that to me is always the best thing. The more respawns I can get, the better, because I am just shooting everything. That is how I grind. I prefer to just shoot everything. I'm not doing herd management or anything like that. I am just shooting all my males, hoping for the best. And as I said, now I'm shooting the occasional female as well. If there's one that's just, a lone one that gets in my way, then I'll shoot one, and, it has made some kind of impact that has been interesting to see. Now, I don't think, the whole males might be respawning as females thing. I think it's just respawns going into different locations, and therefore I'm seeing, maybe more because they're in those different locations. So it's interesting to actually see that. And yeah, sometimes it does just feel like there's, I don't know, like, sometimes it feels like the respawns are a bit slow, and I've heard that from other people as well. So, sometimes I feel like shooting things just helps get things going a little bit, and that's just me personally. It might not be meaning anything at all, but that's just how it feels to me, and it seems to work, so I'm just going with that, same as I have done with all my other grinds. But here you'll see I have a diamond level 4 moose. I actually shot this one earlier today, really big level 4. I love this rack. It is such a cool looking rack. just gorgeous. I love the fronts on this rack. They look really, really awesome. And when I saw it, I thought that, you know, it could be a diamond. It obviously had the estimate to make diamond, but I was pretty sure that it was the rack that can make it. And this isn't actually the first diamond level 4 I've had on this grind. I have had a couple other ones, including this diamond level 4, which I actually shot without even realising what it was. I saw that it was a level 4, took a shot at it through some brush, and then it ended up being a diamond. So unfortunately I don't actually have the footage of me shooting this one, but I do have a couple of screenshots of it. And you can see it's the exact same rack, just obviously it's going to be slightly different because of true racks, but it is pretty much the exact same rack. And yeah, I was really excited about that. That's another diamond for the tally, and obviously we have the one that I didn't get the footage of, so that's another one for the tally. So always really awesome to see that. Now, moving on to this clip, and this clip is going to be a little bit interesting. This one also happened earlier today, and I saw this level 5, and I was kind of worried that this one might be another troll, but like I said, I would rather see max levels and them troll than not be seeing max levels at all. And I end up going for a heart shot here. I try to go for a heart shot, and unfortunately, it doesn't land, and not only does it not land and not get heart, but it doesn't get any vital organs at all. So I spent quite a while tracking this moose down, because that's what happens if you make a bad shot. You got to track the thing down, hope that you can actually get that second shot and make it still count, you know, to get the full medal. So I tracked this guy down for quite a while, and finally I got a warning call from him, and he was just up here on this little ridge just above me, and here I thought he might have spooked because he was actually sort of running, but I stayed still because I know now that when the moose are alarmed and even sometimes alert, they'll do this sort of running around on the spot kind of thing. And as you can see, he went from alert to nervous, and then he goes back to alert here, and I managed to place a solid shot into his chest there, and he goes down almost instantly. Now, he had very low health, so that's why he was going to go down quickly no matter what kind of shot I put into him, but that was actually a nice relief for me to actually know I had made a good second shot on this guy. And I didn't know if this was going to be a troll or a diamond. It has that rack that, as you will have seen from the little bit of a montage, can often troll, but it is a diamond at 278.80, so that was really awesome. But taking a look at that first shot, I must have just completely misjudged it. I was closer than the 0 distance that I had for 150, and I just misplaced it, and it ended up getting the shoulder blade there. But the secondary shot got both lungs, and that brought him down nice and quickly, and as you'll see, managed to get the diamond medal because of that vital second shot. You can see the track distance there of 2.53 kilometers, so I did track this one for quite a while. But I did know he shouldn't die from that first shot because it did say no organs hit. It wasn't like I'd hit him in the intestines or anything, so I knew that I could just take my time and track him down. Now, it's unfortunate that I messed up that first shot, but it does just happen sometimes. You misjudge things, and that's what happened here. And like I said, managed to save it with that second shot, so I'm super happy about that, and it's another diamond for the tally for this grind. Now, taking a look here in this zone, and we have another level 5. Now, this one was quite interesting to me because when I was looking at it, I was pretty sure that it had the rack that I had for one of my diamond level 4s from this grind. So I was actually pretty confident that one would actually make diamond. And as you can see there, managed to put a vital hit into this one, and he goes down nice and quickly. And yeah, taking a look at it, it does look pretty much like the level 4 that I had as the first diamond of my grind. And this one is actually really big at 285.39. So I don't think it's the exact same rack, but it is very similar to that one level 4 I had. And that's what made me think it would end up making diamond, but I didn't think he would be as big as he is. And 606 kg, that's quite a good size moose, and I was really happy to actually see this one. This is one of the bigger diamonds I have had on this grind, and I always find that interesting because I always think that the ones with the really big fronts are going to be the bigger diamonds, but the fact that they can end up trolling is always fascinating to me, because this to me is what I would more expect from a troll with the much smaller brows. But yeah, it's just interesting how the true rack system works. But it's still a really awesome looking bull moose, a really gorgeous diamond, and of course I was super happy to see it because it's always nice to get the diamonds on this grind. Now we have another level 5 here. Again, this rack with the really big fronts, the really big brows. And this guy, I think I actually spooked this one initially, because I ended up shooting a couple of other moose in a zone that's very close by. In fact, the zone where I just shot the other level 5 on a different time. And this one I ended up spooking because it was just a little bit too close to the other zone, but managed to get a heart shot on this one. And it's interesting to me how many level 5s this lake in particular has produced, because there's been at least one troll here, I think actually more than the one. And then I've had that previous diamond that we just took a look at, the other level 5, and then we have this one here which also makes diamond at 286.31. Now, surprising to me that it has such a high score but a much lower weight than the other moose that we just took a look at. He's only 594 kg, but still, it's another diamond moose, and I'm really not going to complain anyway. Another diamond moose for the tally. I absolutely love seeing these things. It always gets my heart going when you see that huge rack. And, you know, of course, there's always the, oh, is that a great one? But still, seeing these level 5s, it doesn't get old to me, because they are just so cool looking. And like I said, this rack with the really big sort of fronts, it's just always a cool sight. I think it's one of my favourite racks for the diamond moose. And like I said, it's very interesting that the really similar ones can end up trolling. So yeah, really interesting to see, and I'm just happy to have another diamond for the tally. I am now sitting at 7 diamonds, 6 trolls, and with this animal you'll see on screen 3 piebalds. And those are my stats for this grind so far, and I am about 50 kills away from 2,000 kills. Actually, by the time this video goes up, I may actually have hit 2,000, but as I'm recording this, I am literally about 50 off of hitting 2,000 kills into this grind. Still no great one, but I am just going to keep going until hopefully one shows up. So hopefully eventually it will all pay off with a great one in the end. But getting all these trophies along the way is really awesome. And I decided that I was going to have a little bit of fun with this piebald, just because they are so incredibly beautiful. And I wanted to call it in as close as possible and get some really nice close-up pictures of this absolutely stunning animal. And this is something I will be doing if I can actually have a great one show up. If one shows up, I will be spending a lot of time just getting pictures of it and witnessing it in its environment. I will not be going straight in to shoot it. I will just be spending some time getting some close-up pictures, close-up footage, trying to make it go aggressive, all of those things, and hopefully I'll manage to get some really nice pictures of a great one moose here on Medved Tiger. The map itself is so beautiful, and that is one of the reasons I would really love to get a great one moose on this map. So fingers crossed eventually one does show up. I don't know, you know, obviously I have no idea how long it's going to take, but I will just keep persevering and hopefully eventually one will show up for me. But tried to go for a heart shot again on this piebald. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off, but I still ended up getting vitals, so that's no problem at all, and he didn't go very far before he actually dropped. Had the cow moose going aggressive there, which is always funny. I actually ended up having a level 1 bull moose and a cow go aggressive on me the other day. That was absolutely hilarious. I have had so many level 1 bull moose on this grind already. I think it's over 10, which is funny to me because you don't often see them, and I've just had so many of them already on this grind, which to me is just quite funny. But there we have that beautiful piebald bull. Super happy to get that. Always love finding the rares. The rares for me are just always cool to find. But now we have a little bit of a different clip for the end of this video. I actually have had a max weight boar track in this area the whole time I have been doing this Great One grind, and earlier today it ended up running out in front of me and it was a level 5. Now I decided what I would do is actually wait for it to come back to its zone. I'd go and shoot some moose in the meantime and hope that, you know, eventually I could come back to its zone and it would be here, and that's exactly what happened. And I was tracking it as I could see the tracks, you know, by the resting zone, and this ended up happening. It went aggressive on me. This is the first time I've had a level 5 wild boar go aggressive. And this guy looked huge. I don't know if they've done something to increase the size of the wild boar tusks, or maybe it's just because I haven't seen one in so long, but this guy looked huge. And I was desperately here trying to work out a way to get a shot on this guy without him fleeing, and without messing up the shot with him running around like this. and eventually he tries to run up this bit of a slope here and gets a little bit stuck, which gave me a perfect opportunity to shoot him there in the vitals with the 308, and he dropped on the spot. I was worried that maybe I had somehow spine shot it, but I could see the vital blood, and I was really, really excited to have taken down a level 5 wild boar. Level 5 wild boar to me are not one of the most common things to find in the game. I've only ever shot a few of them, so I was super excited to see this. And like I said, the tusks on this guy just look massive, and I really don't know if it is just me. I'd love to hear in the comments if you guys think the tusks are bigger too. But not only is he a diamond, he's a max weight, max score diamond wild boar. Now, I'm pretty sure this is my first ever max weight, max score boar. He's huge. And I got him whilst he was aggressive. I got to have that aggressive encounter. Now, it's a little bit sad that he did get stuck there, but it did offer me that shot. And, you know, double lung heart, that was pretty ideal. But my gosh, he was going to end up killing me if I didn't take that shot. It's just absolutely insane how this ended up happening. Like I said, I have been going through this area every day on my moose grind, and I have seen that max weight track and thought, okay, it's probably just a level 4. At some point I will try and track this down. And then when it ran out in front of me earlier today and it was a level 5, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I was like, no way. And then for it to be so big, to be max, I could not believe what had just happened. And for it to go aggressive, it couldn't have been more perfect. That was just amazing. And those tusks are huge. That is such a cool boar. I'm so stoked about this. This was a really nice bonus to have on this grind. And, you know, this is the thing with Great One grinds. You're going across a lot of the map in most situations. You're going to be going into different places, and you might end up finding other things along the way. And that's exactly what happened with this guy, and I'm really, really stoked about it. But that is going to be it for this video, so thank you so much for watching. Like I said, about 50 kills off of 2,000 as I am sitting here right now recording this. And like I said, 7 diamonds, 6 trolls and 3 piebalds. Hopefully, eventually this moose will show up. I am just going to keep going with it until it hopefully does show up, so I will just keep going for as long as absolutely possible. So I again apologise if there is a little bit of a gaps in between content, because of course I am grinding for stuff, so it depends on when things show up. I have no control over that, and yeah, hopefully this moose will show up and then I'll be able to get into some more regular content again. But in the meantime, I'm just pouring all my focus into this Great One grind. I'm doing about 12 hours a day of grinding. I always aim to do 12 hours. Sometimes it's more. Today was a little bit less because I had a bit of a migraine, but every other day it's been 12 hours plus, and hopefully if I keep going at that pace, we will eventually get one of the absolutely stunning Great One moose to show up, and that will be really awesome. But in the meantime, that is what I have, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.